Get into this second semi-final of the Rex March Madness. In the top left-hand side, our blue Protoss player is MaxPax. Taking on the red Terran in the bottom right corner of the map from Team Liquid, we're going to have Clem. Right, second series of the day. Who will be joining Hero in the finals? Will it be a PvP between him and MaxPax, or will it be Clem stepping up to give us some more TVP? I love the SG2/Pokemon sub. Yours says Metroid, Zelda, Mass Effect. Yeah. I like going deep on things. Like, I feel like a collectible of, like, this or that is, like, whatever, but, like, actually having, like, a proper collection is very fun. I have a big box somewhere with a lot of Blizzard figures as well. I put all of those away apart from the StarCraft 2 ones because the LC2 ones were the ones that were interesting in the end, or still interesting. Sorry, where did I get the Battlecruiser question from the YouTube chat? The Battlecruiser was also the same thing as the little Battlecruisers, which are sold in the Blizzard store. But the big Battlecruiser was from Dark Horse. I think it was Dark Horse Collectibles is what it's actually called. That one arrived, yeah. I think the Battlecruiser was the first one. And then the Broodlord, and then the Carrier. I think they came in that order. You had to basically pre-order these things. It was, they all sold out, so like I say, nowadays you have to find them on a resale site or something. Alright, Reaper coming through, the factory coming up. We've got ourselves the Assimilator. And Nexus on the way on the side of MaxPax, so we get that underway. Let's just see our factory about to be done. So factory finishing up, the Reaper pulling back a little bit. The Hellion very much so now on its way as well, so we bring that straight on in. As we hop this Reaper up, another Reaper coming across over to the side. I have asked my parents why they chose my name to be spelled the way it is. They just said it wasn't as weird. It didn't seem as weird to them. They picked it. Something along those lines. A couple of Reapers are going to move back against that Adept. Just going to be pulling away from that one, trying to stay away for the moment as we get settled for the moment. Yeah, Reaper Hellion's going to step up. The Adept is going to take some shots. Shade backward, as obviously I don't think we get in here, even with a good grenade. I mean, we can obviously grenade our way in. The question is, do we take too much damage doing that? With one Reaper already low, I don't think Clem wants to justify making that kind of a move right here, so probably not going to happen. Couple gates coming about, and again the Cyclone Medevac Marines coming up as well. Medevac will start to move over again. The Reapers and the Hellions are going to set up. We get set on the top. The Robo Facility coming through as well. I see they'll drop in the main base then. So this Clem's actually going to be able to find some damage. He gets one Stalker, just lifts up and is happy with the Stalker kill. One of the things about Clem is he never gets too greedy, right? He's always very much so in the right kind of position to kind of do those things. Actually, I had a cool idea. Maybe we'll do the full, like, the WardiTV room tour video or, like, collection talk-through video. Maybe we'll do that as part of the 10-year full-time streaming celebration this year. We're going to do like a big streamathon thing in June because we've been streaming full time for 10 years. Maybe we'll do that as part of that. That's actually a cool idea. Like a little sub-goal or something for it. I think that'd be actually really neat. Yeah, I like that. Let's do that one. I'm a fan. Alright, Liberator setting up to the top side, the Reaper Hellion coming back over. SCV's on the way through, the stim pack added on, add the engineering bay in as well, so we bring all of that up. Hunger at the front, the tank is going to sit, stim pack +1. Siege tank and Marines continue to come through. And extra gates coming over, the charge coming up. Stim pack and +1 coming in. We had the Marines and the tank on in. Another barracks coming through in a few moments as well, as we just have the 2 Stalkers heading down that right-hand side. Stalker's just going to hit. The medevac already taking damage. The Stalker's just blink away. Nothing too major here, obviously, as we set up to start. Trying to apply some pressure. The Prism on the way, but for the most part, I guess MaxPax is mostly just heading into that Robo Bay. It's a good denial on this Liberator. Going to get it very low on HP, so it's going to be tough for this to do much of anything. We'll siege up here, maybe force a couple probes to pull back. Might even get a couple of kills still. 2. I'm actually going to get 3, plus the Reaper Hellion hits on the 3rd base. Good multitasking from Clem. Finds 2 different points to attack, and somehow this turns into 8 workers killed so far. It's going to be 9. Could be 10 here if the Hellion got an extra shot off. Maybe could have been 11. Didn't happen as we were pushing at the front. The Hellions went down. This push gets turned around as well. Man, that was an amazing couple of moments. Well, Robo Bay finishing, +1 in the charge coming through as well. Have our Zealots going to make their way around that left-hand side and actually going to run into a group of Marines. Are going to load instantly into the medevac and pull back away down the bottom side again. They're going to be pulling back again, +1 in combat shield, very much so on the way up. The concussive shells coming through as well. Add on the attack upgrade, add on the thermal lance, and we continue to get all of this on the go for the moment. The Stalker's really looking to intercept some of these Marines still. Going to turn around, Stalkers take quite a bit of damage. Get pushed away, and again the rest of this army heading up the right side as well to figure out where else we might be able to get to over the next few moments. Fire will fight, Stalkers get turned away again. Tank positioning here is going to be very annoying because it just means if you want to chase it all, you're not going to be able to succeed at all. You can see the bio pushing through, the couple of probes taking some damage. We saw send some Zealots across the map though, so if we can get Zealots across the map and get those to start dealing some damage, that would be obviously amazing. So that's going to be our priority here, as that little bit of bio continues to stim back and forth. The Nexus taking some shots as well. That CC wants to land down, but there's a Zealot in the way, so Clem's 3rd going to be denied for the moment. I'd say those tanks just in a very safe place. The Zealot's actually set up not for the counterattack, but for the wraparound, so that's worth noting as well. Clem has got 2 medevacs heading to the main base, and now MaxPax will have to split more units over here to deal with it. He saw it coming though, and so he's able to get the warp in off. We do get rid of half a medevac of units. The Stalkers blink into the low ground. Meanwhile, the Zealots there are just waiting to strike. They are literally in range of the Naturalists. There's a bunker, though. There's Widow Mines. The Zealots are rightfully going to turn around and just back away from that. So, in the end, good defense from both players. Both players denying the opponent from being able to get in and do some damage and put some work in. Very nicely done, as that Widow Mine goes off, gets rid of that Zealot, taking that down. Few more tanks will siege, bio gathering up, a couple of Vikings coming over, SCVs on the way, the armory coming online as well, so we get all of that coming through just for the moment. A couple of tanks is going to fire, and a couple of Stalkers taking shots right off the bat. And +2 attack. Dark Shrine will continue to come up as well. So just seen Zardstalker Colossus gathering back through the middle. Bioforce setting up as well. TT upgrades +1 ship weapons, very much so still coming in here also. There's that Dark Shrine about to finish and that cannon on the way in as well. Again, Bio, Vikings, the tanks gathering up right now as we have a +3. And +1 continuing to come through. As I'm setting up, again, the 2G upgrades, the ship upgrades continuing in as well. This army setting up and getting going here. The Vikings going to be nearby. The Medevac's doing a little bit of healing. The Bio could maybe make a little bit of a step forward there. Chase those Stalkers a little. A couple of Zealots begin to go down. So Zealots already dropping. The Stalkers playing back once more. A couple of Ghosts being added on in there as well. As we do get a big warp in into the main base. That's going to be a lot of Zealots into the main. That's a big factor. Zardstalker, Colossus, and Mortal forcing this command center to lift off. MaxPax striking everywhere as the Bio army continues to come through. A few of those Zealots going down. It's a good fight from Clem. And he's not doing that much damage toward the main base either. 4 SCVs, and that is it. What a great engagement for Clem. He takes this down easily. And I'd not be surprised to see Clem just start getting across the map here because he has an army already set to go. He's not going to have to wait for reinforcements. He's not going to have to wait on anything. He is going to be set to play from the very first moments here. Going to be feeling good about it as the few Vikings get down to the south. Prism falls as the Stalkers blink over the side. A couple of the Zealots charge through. Disrupt shot. Just going to land on a Marauder. The tanks turn around the other way. Another Disruptor shot just goes into the gap. Again, we chase up the Disruptor, taking lots of damage. I mean, you're basically relying on these Disruptors, but you know Clem and his micro capabilities. I don't think he's going to let these Disruptors do much. The thing is, as well, there's not enough Disruptors. Like, 2 Disruptors ain't going to cut it, and as you're replacing 2 at a time, you're already going to lose 2 by the time you get 2 more out. You're never going to get to the number that can truly keep Clem back for a significant portion of time. This Disruptor shot, again, we just step back away from. And now Disruptors are on cooldown for the foreseeable future. This is going to have to be, at the very least, a base give-up from MaxPax, so going to go down to 4 bases here. The Zealots on the right side going to actually come in at a good time as the tanks are on siege. The Vikings should just lift up. They shouldn't want to fight those Zealots. Unless we're just going to leave them on the ground to tank. I actually do think it's worth picking them back up. Just in case Colossus come back into play, you can also use those Vikings to hunt a Prism. Snipe down, I believe, the Dark Templar that was in the back there. Disruptors actually going to get rid of some of the tanks. No, actually we got rid of one of the Disruptor shots. These tanks have been great throughout the game. Finally, they go down. Much better fight from MaxPax here. Good engagement through, and he is going to succeed in pushing Clem away. Extra Zealots showing up as well. My concern still for MaxPax is forever going to be that his army composition is just not really it for a long game. Like, it can win fights and it can buy you time, but staying on Zealotstalker Disruptor forever, like, obviously sometimes it will work, but it's a very unreliable army composition in comparison to having something like Colossus or Storms in your army. Obviously, DT is going to try and harass around as well. MaxPax might just feel like he's forfeit to this composition for the rest of this game at this point. Like I said, I do not love that for him. I do think that is generally going to be a problem. It's generally going to be something that's kind of scary here. The Medevacs boost. Well, at least think about boosting into the main base. They don't in the end. Another scan coming down. The Disruptors still very much so gathering together. Well, Zealots warp in as well, so they're going to come out. couple of the DTs and the Zealots continue to come through. Just have a couple of the snipes coming around. Observer goes down. 3-3 upgrades. On the way up is the Marauders are going to get there. Now our Nexus taking some damage as well. So the Nexus continues to take some shots. The DT step through once more. Zealots and the DT coming over. Stalkers as well. Continuing across is on the top side. Cannon goes down. Another disruptor shot just going to fly short of the rest of the army. Yeah, nice to see MaxPax stepping back into this game, because for a few moments it looked as though this was going to turn into quite a bit of trouble for him. Now, it seems a lot more reasonable. Stalker's getting underneath. The medevac goes down. The few Zealots going to move in as well. Try and drop a couple of EMPs off. Widowmine goes off on the Zealots as well. Disruptor shot just gonna hit the bio and back around the other way. Disruptor's just continuing to fire through. I'm just gonna be seeing as Stalker still trying to get there. We lost quite a few SCVs here as Clem is now trying to make a stance against this. The Disruptors will bully him back. A much better Disruptor count than what we were at originally, right? And now the Disruptors are starting to land as Clem is trying to find a way to clean some of them up. Trying to siege the Liberators on top of this, but it's not working out. Loses a ghost to the Disruptor. Can we chase? I mean, the Disruptors are right in the front at the moment, so it really felt like a moment where chasing is absolutely viable, because you would get rid of the Disruptors as they fire, which means that you can't really stop the fire, which means the chase down is acceptable. Great micro back and forth between these two. Fantastic opening game. Clem MaxPax does not usually disappoint, and so far in this series, we are not seeing it disappoint either. So far so good as the Liberator comes up and it's going to siege a mineral line. At this point, denying a little bit of mining here or there for a while is huge, and we're going to start getting some probes. 3-4 workers. MaxPax responding, but yep, just going to deny the mining for a little bit, and that's going to be lovely. We are going to see 2 Stalkers only, which means the Lib actually does get away and continue to be used for a bit further down the line. Medevac's boosting right. I was going to say, does Clem know, or does MaxPax know, because he was kind of following the boost, but it looked as though it was just coincidental, as we are going to see Clem seeing this Nexus coming up in the top right, so wants to try and keep MaxPax back down to the 5 bases. As he's just taken 5 bases of his own. Over time, I think Clem 5 base against 5 base should be great. I think Clem in general should trade well here. Resources loss does suggest that that's the case. His army composition is just better, right? Which is why MaxPax really needs to rely on those Disruptors in a big way and hope Clem does not have good micro. But this is becoming an issue. 17 probes just went down here. Cancel on this Nexus. The Stalkers do not get a medevac even. And now Clem, knowing so much of the army is top right, I was going to say it's a potential dart through the middle of the map. Could have been a huge moment for him to just dive up the upper left, to the upper left side, because yeah, he kind of knew MaxPax was not quite where he needed to be to play defense. A couple more shots start to come through. A couple of Zealots begin to go down. So the Zealots will continue to drop here. Liberators are firing. Marine Marauder still coming about as well. 2 more Colossus on the way up from MaxPax. The Assimilator coming over. Medevacs will load, and they're going to go boosting elsewhere as the Bio Army continues to join up in that upper right-hand side. Medevac's going to go into the main, and they're just going to begin to unload. Big unload is going to be very frustrating to deal with, and now production going to be camped. MaxPax realizing you can't do much about this, but maybe a counterattack could succeed, because obviously Clem has got a lot of units invested here, so at the very least, counterattacking might see MaxPax find some success. He is cleaning up in the top right. He is pushing straight down the map, like I mentioned. MaxPax supply blocked already, so reinforcements already off the cards. Clem will have to regather some of his army. I need reinforcements in the main and natural, get those joined up. It's obviously interesting because as you lose orbitals, DTs become more of a factor, but we should be able to clean out the Dark Shrine here. And we do have still 2 DTs on the map, but they're not endless, right? That's the important thing, is that there is going to be an end to the DT harass because the Dark Shrine no longer exists, so should be fine as we move through to the natural expansion. Pylon still dropping again. MaxPax heavily supply block. Clem's army on the natural is already good enough to start pushing back against this. MaxPax realizing he still needs to do more as he loses so much of his production. He needs to get rid of bases, he needs to get rid of positions. Run into this position here. Planetary Fortress will go down. Even just the few units we get with the planetary before it all falls, though, it helps. As Clem comes across, finds another Nexus he can get rid of. He scans top right, checking if the base is there. Knowing it's not there, he just limits where he needs to be and how many positions he has to try and deny in this, moment. Clem with a 60 army supply lead. MaxPax has money to spend, though. If he gets on the supply block, gets some new production up, he will be able to add at least some supply back into his game. Clem Stim's actually kind of low on HP on a lot of these units. The medevacs are pretty heavily drained of energy, and Slash just haven't had time to heal up the whole time because they've been busy moving around and so on. Viking Liberator to the 6 o'clock. It's going to see a couple of cannons going down. The Colossus are firing away as well. Another Marine going down too. The Colossus continue to chase as the Bio sets up over the left side. The Stalker goes down as Zealot gets picked away at. A couple more of those Marauders going down too. Just for now, as the Bio Army and the Liberators and the Vikings come up to the top, we're going to be seeing a couple of Stalkers get knocked away at. The Nexus will fall. And this army continues to get settled here as the orbital command falls back down to the natural for the moment. Going to take a moment to turn as you do see a couple of disruptor shots flying up. Another couple of disruptor shots trying to land, but Clem has the full collapse in on this army. Fantastic opening game of this semi-final. That's the StarCraft we want to see. As Clem takes... On the top right-hand side, our Blue Protoss player here is going to be MaxPax, who is currently down a game after a pretty awesome back and forth. Because to be fair, Clem in the bottom left did take a pretty good lead early. I felt like MaxPax did a great job taking some fights to get back in. The problem was when MaxPax got back into the game, he was still on that worse army composition. And I think he got back into the game playing off of the Disruptors out Stalker and into DT. But his army never really hit like it should do in the late stages. So the repercussions of being behind early definitely were kind of, alive and well there. GG got called and Clem took that advantage. And here we are now going into game 2. Probably coming across, just on the move. So we come across and we'll nibble up on that SCV, so a little bit of damage being dealt here right from the start. He'll be coming over. We've seen that probe coming through. The Reaper's starting to hit a couple of those probes as well. It's just going for some work here. Already put some damage down as that Reaper comes across for a reasonable start so far. And Wolfgate coming through, the Twilight Council coming up, add a couple of the probes, and Stalker online as well. And the Adept will start shading out as 2 Reapers and a Hellion will begin to make their way out across to the other side. And away we go. First little group of units is going to catch the Adepts, which is nice. We lose a Reaper, but hey, getting rid of 2 Adepts gets rid of some of that control from MaxPax and gets rid of some of the defense he might try and utilize as well on the other side of the map. So, actually really not a bad starting point, to be honest. Let's just have the Reaper and the 2 Hellions coming across to the other side. Away they go. He's going to send the Reaper forward. There's a full wall off from MaxPax. He's going to take no risks, of course. If the wall off is there, the Hellions can't get in. And then it's only the Reaper that could access the main base, which is obviously limited because, well, we already killed a Reaper. We did in the end break through though for 3-4 workers, so we get some damage done with those early units as the wall off finally comes down. So we do get through in the end. Stalkers end up towards the top. I'm just going to be seeing the blink coming through, the prism coming about. And again, siege tank, marines, another barracks coming into place. So far, so good. Bit of mine burrows and a few probes pull away to the sides. Getting out of there for the moment. And the Observer coming about. The Siege Tank and the Raven coming through. Observer, a few more Stalkers on the way. MaxPax getting that warp in underneath right from the get-go. He is just getting that started immediately. Stalkers going to hop up in toward the main base, and we are going to see a stim pack under fire here. It's a very exposed stim location, but it's not super aggressive from MaxPax, so Clem will protect it, but we still got over a minute to go on that stim, right? Like, it's only just started, so there's time for MaxPax to maybe find that, and it's a position that Clem has to put some defense into, otherwise he loses stim, and that's going to severely slow down his next step of this game. A few Marines in the bunker will fire back at those Stalkers, so they get turned around the other direction. Prism heads into the main base, and we will see a few Stalkers unloading here. There are tanks and Baryons in the main, so actually we're going to be comfortable. It's a very good defense from Clem. It's quick, it's to the point, no waste of time. And MaxPax is not going to find any way to puncture Clem's defense in these early stages and to start trying to get him to struggle along a little bit. And if that comes over, Woodermine pops out and burrows up. Just going to be seeing the couple probes there, just going to get shot at. And our Storm and our charge coming through, the +1 attack coming up. Our Stalker's going to set up at the front, going to try and poke forward here. We'll see our bio, we'll see our tank hanging out strongly and the natural. Get a few more Zealots warped in. Observer steps through, the Medivac's overhead. I was going to say, we don't even need to scan for the Observer. There's a Raven right there, MaxPax. It feels like a little bit of a mental error. There's absolutely no reason to siege up that Observer. Oh my goodness. MaxPax is caught sleeping at the wheel. What is that? That's horrendous. Just distracted by the drop, and he loses every Stalker bar one. That's truly brutal. That is just truly brutal. Nothing else to say about that one. That is going to be a Clem advantage then for sure, as he is looking to be coming across the map. I mean, this is tough. We need some very good storms right now as the High Templars drop. That first storm was not it. And at this point, it feels like you're delaying more than anything else. The storm comes down, a couple of tanks are in position. The High Templars are pushed back for the moment. The Archon in the front going to go down. That means less of the tankiness available. No storms left over. The tank survives. And this base is definitely in trouble for the moment. See a couple of units going down. Medevac going to go boosting across once again. Again, Stalkers continue up. The Nexus and the Probes continuing as well. Bioarmy just regathering here as we get ready to head up to the top side of the map in the next few moments. The storm goes down, Bioons take damage. Ghosts coming up, the armor upgrade coming through. We had a couple of Vikings and Marines on in there as well. MaxPax is going to be able to hang on in there. Rough start for him. What I worry about is, again, because it was a rough start, he gets to hang on in there, but so much of his future of the game gets kind of denied and delayed because you're kind of recovering from that starting point. That's what gets me worried. Like, now Clem has had plenty of time to set up against the storm play and so on, so I guess we'll see. Nexus in the pylon coming through, the armory coming up as well. And the bio guys, you just need +2 attack coming about. Push from MaxPax going to come through the center. This is the kind of army where I feel like Clem can jump on it, and it will disappear in seconds unless he gets, unless MaxPax finds some very good storms to dissuade him from taking those commitments. Couple of Zealot's going to take some shots. High Templar drops a storm in. Little cheeky feedback on a Ghost as well. And that bio coming back toward the middle of the map for a few seconds here in Clem. And he's going to try and see what he can maybe get done. Four shots come through. And again, we got 2-2 upgrades continuing about as well. Viking and a few Marauders coming online. The ship weapons coming up. Marines just going to get there and try and play some cleanup as well. So again, see if they can find some more value. Time is maxed. And it's going to find that Zealot run-by attempt as well. Hey, MaxPax is successfully going to move into Colossus here. And this is going to develop into a later stage of the game compared to what it really felt like we were seeing. I mean, it really felt like early on we were going to see Clem killing MaxPax quickly. I think Clem is going to kill MaxPax a little bit to the top side. The 12 o'clock base under attack. And this army is just going to find the Nexus. The recall not happening because we EMP'd it. And this army of Clem just completely bypassed any vision of MaxPax through the top left side. So MaxPax had no idea what was happening, and the base just goes down. Costs you a few units as Clem, but we get out for the most part. I mean, Clem's going to be very happy there. The Viking's going to try and take a chance to turn around onto that Colossus. The Ghost tried to snipe, but the unit that was sniping got out of reach, so it got cancelled. Colossus takes some shots. And Clem turns around, still has a 30 supply lead at the moment, so still very comfortable at this current point of the series. Up a game, and looking good in game 2. Units continue to come around. Storm comes in. Actually, nice storm there. Cancels the snipe, keeps the High Templar alive, and both the Ghosts end up going down as well. Storm's coming down. A couple of Vikings are going to go chasing. Well, I mean, there's 3 Colossus in the back. There's only like 1 Viking left, so the Colossus might actually have some potential here. If the Colossus kind of get left to their own devices and deal damage for a certain amount of time, there's a good chance MaxPax can succeed, and Clem Supply does not look super hot coming out of this fight. MaxPax, as he just swung this around, coming back across the map now, he might realize that this is time to go because there's no Vikings. The medevacs are, going to be trying to heal up. We actually get rid of 1 medevac already. And we still have a Storm or 2 available, so I actually think this is the prime time to fight. None of the Ghosts have any energy here. Okay, the new Ghosts on the left side do. They drop some EMPs, but the High Templars are lingering in the back. Ghost will never reach those. We'll try and stun him forward for a High Templar, and we get it. But we are just going to split this army in half, and Clem, can he collapse on this? I don't think he can successfully. MaxPax is actually just going to push his way to the right side. Grab a couple of these units, start working onto this base. Clem had a good start in this game, but it looks as though MaxPax begins to turn it around with this push now, which is going extremely well for him. Storm after storm, Colossus putting in the work. We might lose the Colossus here, but we've still got a couple of Immortals on the ground and a ton of Zealots showing up. It's going to be very difficult to get through all of that bulk, as it looks like MaxPax has got game 2 in the bag. What a turnaround from him. Clem just across the map there, unsuccessful. Man, I mean, again, even just a minute ago, felt like Clem was still controlling the game, killing the base, doing well, but needs to be able to take the fights, and Colossus especially with the thing he struggled with here, unable to get his Vikings to do what he needed to. Turn around from from MaxPax's. Clem drops the GG emote, never mind just a good old GG. Serious, right? That is the bigger difficulty, I suppose. Because MaxPax feels like he has to keep on playing from behind to find a chance to win, which is obviously much more difficult to do. MaxPax in the upper right, Clem in the bottom left as we kick off into game number 3 of this best of 5 series. Oh, take a moment to breathe, because it's been pretty exciting so far. And head into this next game to see who will get up onto match point. Remember, this is just the semi-finals. Finals after this will be a best of 7 against Hero for whoever succeeds in this rivalry best of 5 that we've currently got going on. The probe doubling up at that SCV. Probe coming over to that right hand side, just going to move up into the natural, and away we go. Probe just hanging around the back. Again, the factory coming through, the CC coming online. Get that underway for a few moments here. Get ourselves settling in. They're gonna fight as EV gets pushed back, the Reaper taking damage as well. So we go back and forth for a few moments. Nothing really too crazy just yet. Early on. And not too much happening just now as we continue through. Reapers and Hellions once again going to fight those attacks. We've seen this fight a couple of times in this series already. Once again, Clem is going to succeed. We lose one Reaper. Do we lose a second? We will. Okay, 2 Reapers go down. The 2 Adepts fall. MaxPax seems to be okay with that. I mean, it keeps happening, so I can only kind of presume he's okay with it, I guess. Okay, coming through. The Blink coming up. Extra couple of gates coming about with that Robo Facility added on as well. Couple of Hellions going to fight. The Stalker going to shoot. Hellion taking some more shots. see the couple of Hellions and the Reaper still move through. The Raven coming up. Add a couple of Marines on in there as well. And continues through. The Raven is about to pop, and obviously the Raven gives you a lot of potential for counter-attacking with. So we'll see that being a choice right here. And there's a couple of units hanging out on that watchtower. Again, Blink going to be finishing up shortly. Get a few units into the bunker, and that Raven very much so just escaping out up to the top side of the map. Away we go for the moment. So yeah, Raven takes its chance to move across and make some moves. Again, the Observer coming about, the Nexus coming online. Stalkers will shoot, Refinery taking damage. The Reapers and the Hellions are going to be firing here as well. As you do see the Stalkers continue to shoot. Again, a couple probes going down already. Hellion moving into the main base. And that Hellion is going to be shut down as the few Stalkers get across the probes. We'll take it out. Again, Stimpak and +1 attack continue to come through for the moment. Just a few more Stalkers getting warped in once again. Raven and the Siege Tank gathering together also. Raven pulls back. The Observer's still moving into the main base. We're not going to see the Order Turret going down. We will get the Observer. The Stalkers blink. I imagine the initial plan there is to try and get rid of the Raven. Well, the Raven, I think, drop another Order Turret. Yeah, you want to make sure this is a good enough defense because you obviously have the upgrades right there on those tech labs. So you don't want to give any room to, you know, fall apart. You don't want this to go badly for you or anything. So making sure that that's going to be the case as the Rogue Bay comes up back at home from MaxPax, so he begins to get his future attack into place for the moment, getting that set up. Fire will push through. The couple Stalkers going to get jumped on. Going to be able to chase there and actually gets one Stalker on the tail end. But of course, much better for MaxPax than the last game where all them Stalkers ended up going down. Remember, Clem got that catch and that was so huge for him. And it still wasn't good enough. Zealous jump back into the Prism. The Bio and the tanks coming over. Robot facility, I'm gonna get taken down, the gateway coming about. And again, the few Stalkers coming about as well. Marine Marauder still coming through. Tank's gonna fire up. You do see the Stalkers getting pushed the other way, man. Clem's position is good. He lost some SCVs, but the positioning is fantastic and obviously very aggressive here because we've got no third CC behind this. So this 5 racks is looking to find value. The Immortal in the center on that right side, a little exposed. As we run down the ramp, we'll clean up the Widow Mines, but the Widow Mines do get to fire, and so I love the turnaround. We actually get the Immortal there. And if the Tegia units are going down, the rest of this is unlikely to do much else. GG's, and Clem is going to take it to a 2-1 lead in this best of 5. A map away from a finals against Hero. It's kind of crazy because I keep back. The red Protoss player, this is MaxPax, as he is going to be down a game in this series. Can he bring it back to give us a 5th game of the series? We will find out very shortly here as we get this up and running. Blue Terran is Team Liquid's Clem. As we bring this through. Take a moment, we're on Hellscape. We saw this map a little earlier in the PvZ. And we get to see it here in the PvT. I actually think we're hoping that we get a good game between MaxPax and Clem here because it's a big map. I mean, we've seen how big maps between these two can end up very excitingly, so let's see what happens. There's going to be the Factory coming in, the Reaper coming up as well. We're just going to be gathering up. We do see the Reaper Hellion continuing through. The Adept and the Warp Gate coming about our Nexus. Very much so on the way in there still. As we have got our Twilight Council on the way in. Adept just shades over. Reaper moving about. Again, the starport coming up. See the Reaper stepping forward for a couple of moments here. So quiet when I'm not talking. Well, yeah, it is, but sometimes there's just not much to say. Sometimes I'll let you guys just watch the build order. Early game talking is overrated. Unless something particularly exciting is happening. I can tell you guys jokes. Why did the Adept cross the road? Because he forgot to cancel his shade. Yeah. See? Would you rather hear that or would you rather hear me be quiet? As the Adept moves around. Nexus gets going on the third base. As we do see our Cyclone. A couple more Marines coming through. Siege tank getting going. Your brain is crying. Oh, I didn't mean to make you laugh so much your brain cried in laughter. Damn. Didn't think it was that good. Cyclone will pull back down to the bottom and obviously is actually going to find the Adepts. That's going to be a nice shutdown. It's the Raven again here from Clem. Siege tank on the way out. And MaxPax just chrono boosting his blink still. The next few moments. Poison, how you doing? Thank you so much for the 8-month resub on the Prime. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. You subbed for the jokes? Wow. It took that to get you to resub again after all these years? Unbelievable. Appreciate it. Thank you. As we have ourselves a few Stalkers going to step about. The charge coming through. Add a couple of gateways on in there as well. We just get that up and running. A few Marines are going to come around back and just jump into the bunker. A sub for each joke? Well, if I tell another joke, you guys are going to sub again? I've really extended my extent of jokes, I guess. Oh, that's going to be another dead observer here. It's really nice because now no high ground vision, so you're not under threat in the main base. Not that this is a lot of Stalkers anyway, but just takes away any potential poking there. As that factory moves over and another Marine starts up. Did the Colossus fall over because it was imbalanced? That's a classic. Why did the Stalker cross the road? Because the Adept forgot to cancel his shade. Duh. Yeah, we should have done a whole series of just cross the road jokes. Why did the Disruptor cross the road? It didn't. It got stimmed down by the Bio Army. Whoa. put a twist on every single one. Why did the Dark Templar cross the road? Oh, so you have an observer overhead? You're watching? You know? How do you know the DT? Did you just assume my DT crossed the road without detection? Holy. We can make them worse and worse. Like, they're already starting off at a very low level. So the fact they can degrade in the first place is pretty impressive, actually. Because you can see the shimmer. So you're busy watching the shimmer of a DT, and meanwhile you get splattered because you're hit by a car because you didn't look left and right properly. There you go. Five probes going down as the Raven auto-turrets its way to some success on the other side of the map as Clem can step forward. These Stalkers will take a few shots and just trade with their blinkbacks. Nothing too crazy there. I'm just going to step through. A couple of Zelts going down. Stalkers, Colossus, the Immortal. Continue to pull back. Big bio push, but we do not have the tank siege, so Clem's got to decide what he wants to do with that. I was going to say maybe it's evacuation time on the tanks, but you're not going to save the bio army, so I think Clem just walked himself into trouble here. If you get across the map and set up, then that's brilliant, but that's obviously just not the case at all right now. As Clem taking some serious losses. He is coming back pretty nicely to try and minimize the losses here, but at some point I think he's going to have to start running. He finds the Prism and sees the warp in, and he just says GG. And that is going to be MaxPax taking game number 4 of this series. So we're going to be tied up 2-2. Bottom left. A red Protoss player is going to be MaxPax. Top right, our blue Terran player is Clem. MaxPax looking to break a big losing streak against Clem here today. If we can win this map, see what we get. Game 5 of the series. Get going here on Amygdala. Let's get this going. Alright guys. Why did the Terran player make a Cyclone? This one I think hits better than the other one. Oh. No! Alright, back into this. We have regained Rex. Which is exactly what we want to need. He was my best friend in grade school. Yeah, why are you trying to get my questions as well? Joke's on you. I had no friends in primary school. Never pick that question. There you go. We're gonna nibble. SCV take some damage as we get back into this. Guys, obviously regained our caster. It's Rex's tournament, so obviously a lot of the time if casters drop out, we're not gonna regain. But if Rex drops out, it's like if I dropped out of my tournament, I would hope the players would come out and rehost for us, you know. V Wintermule with the 10 pounds. More jokes. Okay. Why was there a dog on the map? Why was there a dog on the map? Because it was the LE version. Ellie, ladder edition. Ellie, the dog. She is about as unimpressed as you guys are, I think. she's like, really? This is my appearance on the stream today? God damn it. I'm on a streak, I know. Look, I've been unleashed now. Once the jokes start, they don't stop coming. As the Stalker going to turn the Reaper back away from this main base. Just going to turn that around immediately. Unbelievable non-petting. No, I'm petting her now. I just petting her while the camera's on is difficult because I have to reach across and I'm trying to point the camera at her. And, you know. She doesn't want loves anyway. She wants food. Helen brought me my lunch and so now she's going to stare at me until she gets food. Look. Yeah. I will appease you all. And that's all she can have, because we can't afford any more, unless you guys use your Twitch Prime on the stream today. Raven coming about, the factory is coming through. As you just see our interference matrix coming online as well, the siege tank, barracks, all coming up, getting underway. Let's have our little stasis ward coming down. They call me Tot. 88, thank you so much for the 5 month resub on the Prime. Oh. Does that mean I have to feed Ellie again? Ellie's gonna enjoy this. I mean, all I have is a bit of rap. Ellie's like, this is brilliant. Thank you guys. Appreciate the support. Alright. Siege tank coming through, a couple Marines and +1 upgrade coming up. We get into this game a bit more properly now. It's been 5 minutes of very similar to what we've seen in the previous games. This time, no Adepts went down. This time we only made one Adept as MaxPax. This time there wasn't as much Reaper Hellion either. There's a Banshee out though from Clem, but there's also a Phoenix that's going to try and hunt down any Banshee around the map. As you just see the Stimpak and the +1 continue to come through. So we get that up and rolling. The Phoenix is going to make its way over. And that factory is going to step across here as well. It's just going to get that repositioned. The barrack's going to drop down onto the tech lab. And yeah, 2 more racks coming down in the back of the natural. So we get both of those set up and get all of that underway. As the Stalkers are going to poise to attack up into this main base in the next few moments, it seems. So looking for the blink in. Phoenix going to lift the siege tank up in the skies. We're just going to be seeing the Marines. Going to be firing. A couple of Stalkers. They get turned around a little bit further. That's a good defense though from Clem. Good damage onto the Stalkers. Gets a kill on one. The Banshee's gotten to sneak around the back of the natural. There's no defense. Well, there's a battery nearby, but obviously if you hit the right probes, that battery's not in reach until they pull away. However, here comes the Phoenix to play cleanup. This Banshee's not long for this world. Let's just see the, gonna turn around. Force the probes to pull one more time is better than nothing. Nicely done. These always leave Pokemon cards. You can't help but ask what Pokemon deck I play. What deck do you think I play? What kind of Pokemon player do I seem like? I'm curious. Bio steps up here and a couple of those Stalkers get pushed down. Whoa! I thought he saw the stasis, but maybe not as he walks into it. There's a couple more Stalkers get chased. Just going to see the Phoenix. Going to get turned around. It's going to go down. Bio continuing to push. The Raven overhead. Again, the +1 attack upgrade continuing to come over as we head down to the bottom side. And we are going to start pushing. So, we step on up. Another stasis ward coming straight into play. It's only going to be one single Marine as Clem gets onto that 4th base. This push down the bottom side is going to allow him to get rid of this Nexus, so that will fall. The pylon going down as well. And there's an Oracle right there that's also going to get picked off. Again, the couple of Cyclone shots coming through. Stalker's taking damage. This 3rd base going down as well. Oh, disaster for MaxPax. Clem is, again, just on this 2-base push. And this 2-base push, 45 workers only, but has so much army supply. Charge is only halfway done, and the majority of MaxPax's army is currently slow Zealots. I do not feel like that is going to get it done. As we are going to be seeing the Bioforce. It's going to continue to trade. A couple more probes going down. We are going to see another Stay Sword catching on the top side. Charge coming up as, man, we could really do with that. The Stay Sword is clutch because actually Clem could have probably just stim in and won. He might still just stim in and win even when stasis fades. The charge is going to be done soon. I mean, we're literally taking the fight without charge right now as MaxPax. It cleans out the tank and then there's nothing to really protect that Colossus. Clem is hunting the probes over here. I mean, I honestly feel like he's just... I mean, he's already done enough. I guess he doesn't need to attack into the natural, so I guess it's fine, but... Fire pulls back over, a couple medivacs moving around. Yeah, kind of out of energy on the medivacs as well. At least we now have charge, and we have 2 Colossus, but... I mean, to be fair, Clem's also only on 2 bases, right? We'll have a Zealot getting there, the SEV falls. Prison moves into the main. The Marauder going to get there, hitting the Zealot as well. Again, a couple more Vikings, a couple of Marauders, all continuing up. Raven on low HP. As the Bio gets there, gets that clean out. A few Zealots going to get through for a few SEVs as well, so just away we go. 9 workers. MaxPax trying to fight his way back in this game. This is why I'm a little scared for Clem, because, like I say, I think he's far enough ahead this doesn't matter. But it is kind of scary because, like I say, I mean, it really felt like he was in a position where he could have just fought the army. Instead, he tried to chase probes and walked into a stasis. If he just chased the army, I just don't see a way MaxPax lives. I just do not see it as the storm continues up. The Nexus on the way. Trying to get to that 3rd base here. Clem on the wrong side to deny the 3rd. The big lift up could go for the drop into the main. The army's kind of here, though. The 2 Stalkers are not that scary because there's only 2 of them. Clem will unload and force them back. Mine gets caught. I mean, Storm's about to finish. Clem is building his 3rd on location and is able to protect it as he chases down the Zealots here. Good chunk of them. 4 out of 5, not bad. The one that got away never got hit by a concussive shell. I mean, Clem is absolutely in the lead here. Hard to deny, obviously. But with Storm up and a couple Colossus, I'm going to say there's always potential. Storm gets rid of the Raven. Oh, the 2 Marauders, though. Threatening, and actually will get rid of a High Templar. Clem's got a split push. He's actually going to hit the natural at the same time. Going to pull the Colossus this way. That allows the 3rd base to be denied again. He's going to run all the way into the main. And he's got a chunk of Vikings, too. Nice force field, but we can also play the lifting game. There's not enough Stalkers to really deny Clem from just kind of doing as he wishes here. He's going to run right to the corner, pull units around, set up on the natural. The Vikings here are going to start shooting at the Colossus, and MaxPax just has to admit it's GG's. And Clem is going to win this series out. Clem continues to extend his streak against MaxPax.